Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about What If Episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. Today we have GIO back on to talk about the episode. Can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
So I am a writer and podcaster for Boardwalk Times, and I talk everything Marvel and Star Wars. And in the future, I will be talking about all things film music and TV music for my own podcast, Composing Culture, on Boardwalk Times. That's where you can check me out.
Oh, cool. I didn't know about that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so this episode was everything that I wanted. Actually, a lot of I heard about the theory about how this episode would go on TikTok like a couple of weeks ago because it like followed the comics, right? And how the Watcher was like, okay, we need to defeat Ultron because he's now a part of the multiverse, and he brings in people from previous episodes. He brings in Captain Carter, Star-Lord T'Challa, who else? Killmonger.
Party Thor.
Yes, Party Thor.
And of course, Doctor Strange Supreme.
And Gamora.
That's right, and Gamora.
Which I would have loved to get her episode. Like they tease that all the time, like in like the trailers and stuff like that, and then we didn't even get her episode.
Which,
like, come on.
Now I'm confused because in her like 5-second scene where she's introduced, we also see Tony Stark, which I assume is the Sakaar suit, which also wasn't featured this season and was pushed back. So that makes me think that both of them were going to be featured in the same episode, which we didn't know. We thought it was going to be two separate stories. So I'm like,
yeah.
I would have loved to see that one.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that. But I mean, I guess that's kind of like a teaser to not a teaser, but I guess like what season 2 could be, where the stories could be really anything. Because now it's just like, why is Gamora and Tony working together? Why is he in that suit? What's going on? Like, I just didn't know what's going on, right?
I know, right? And then like, oh yeah. One thing that surprised me is they were forging the Infinity Gauntlet, or at least she was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. So she's obviously very knowledgeable on the stones, especially because she was Thanos' daughter for so long.
And she had his suit on and everything.
Exactly.
His sword.
So like clearly she wanted them for herself for like a different reason, but we won't really get to know why. And then that made me wonder, wouldn't it have been interesting for her to have forged the gauntlet and collected all the stones by the time Watcher came to pick her up to fight Ultron?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but I think it's cool that they had her either way.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty neat that in general this episode felt like straight out of comic books because of how ridiculous it gets at some points. Some of the powers we see, it's like it makes me wonder just how much Doctor Strange we're going to be getting in the future, considering how crazy powerful we see him in this. It really does feel like his few like spells that he cast in Infinity War and Endgame were only the tip of the iceberg. Like we're gonna see a really, really powerful Doctor Strange. In the
I
future.
agree, because it's just like the last time we see, the first time we see Doctor Strange is in 2017, right? And like that's a full movie. And the next time we see him is Infinity War, and then like Endgame a little bit. So it's like Multiverse of Madness is the time to actually, I guess Spider-Man's movie is to really show, is to really show his powers or something, because we need more Doctor Strange. After definitely seeing What If and what he can do, you need to give us something now. So yeah, that's interesting.
And now thinking about it, they've done that with all the characters. They like start them like pretty strong, or they're like inexperienced. So they'll do some crazy feat, or they have to come up with some clever way to defeat the antagonist in their first role. But then when they start appearing more and more, they get stronger and stronger. But the thing is, now we're getting characters that are so strong that by the time they become stronger and stronger, it's like crazy powerful. Like, that was the other cool thing about this episode. We get to see glimpses of each of the previous episodes, like futures. So we got to see the future of, for example, T'Challa Star-Lord actually comes and saves Peter Quill from his dad, which is like, that makes sense. He's like, Ego the Living Planet, is going to affect everyone, and he's the guardian of the galaxy in a way.
Yeah.
And then we also get to see, obviously, we said earlier, the Tony Stark Gamora interaction. But the one that surprised me the most that I was hoping we get to see more of in general was Captain Marvel and Captain America as the only two Avengers.
Where? When
That
was
was right
that?
at the end when Black Widow gets placed into their universe, and Nick Fury's like, "You're not my Black Widow, but you're still the
Oh,
same."
oh, uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was so cool. I was like, "This is so epic," because Captain America's like an on the ground fighter, and
Yeah.
then Captain Marvel's in the
It's like,
air.
yeah.
It's so cool. I was
That was
like,
cool, yeah. And my one of my favorite parts too was Captain Carter's stealth suit.
"Oh man,
The best suit, okay?
yes,
Like that
yes."
has always been the best suit. No
Mm-hmm.
one has been able to top that since 2013. Just oh, I love the stealth suit. And so the fact that they used that for this episode was just 10 out of 10. And then like my second favorite suit is the Infinity War one
Oh,
with
with the scales? Oh wait, no. Is it the
Captain
ripped up
America's.
one and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Black Panther like shields?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are so cool.
bearded cap, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Anyways,
so cool.
yeah, yeah. So that was really good. And then I really liked the fight with just like the battle scene fight with all of them. And it felt like their own little Avengers, but they
Mhm.
seem so powerful, like compared to our
I
Avengers,
know,
you
right?
know? It's like I kind of want them, you know, they're like really cool. And it was so diverse with like Killmonger and Star-Lord, and then with Captain Carter and what's it called? Black Widow. Like it was just I just what a great group, you know. And then compared to our Avengers, we have like all white men, and then it's like Black Widow. That's pretty much it. But you know, with this one, it's just great.
Yeah, and it feels like um with the future groups we're gonna see more and more of like that. But
Hmm.
my question is, are they gonna get as crazy, ridiculous, powerful as this was? Because when they're fighting Ultron, you see like all of them are using these ridiculous level abilities.
Hmm.
Oh, did we even mention the fact that Killmonger is on this team?
Yeah, that
That
was an interesting toy.
that was
Interesting
like
choice.
I actually from the beginning I'm like, why did you pick him? He's like unambiguously not a good person.
Yeah, like
Like
you watched. I know you
yeah,
watched him
yes.
do all of this.
Yeah, they were literally
Why?
about to fight him on Wakanda and he's like, "No."
I know it's just weird, but maybe because at the end of the episode, Doctor Strange confronts the Watcher, being
Mhm.
like, "You knew how this was gonna end,"
Mhm.
and so I guess it had to turn out that way.
That's
So he
true.
had to get Killmonger. But like, that's just so weird. Like, why him?
Yeah, I know, right? But he did give us one of the coolest moments. They finally found a way to put the OG comic book Armin Zola look into the MCU when he's on Vision's stomach. I
Oh,
was
oh,
like,
oh, yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah.
my,
That's
that's
from the comics.
yeah. In the comics, the reason Zola's an AI in this version is because in the comic books he's a walking robot, like with a face on his stomach
Oh,
and
okay,
it's Armin
cool.
Zola's face.
Hmm.
So they were like, let's do that, but it's an ancient AI. And then in this they managed to do it when he turns into Vision, and it's like okay,
Yeah.
expected outcome. But I guess it makes sense because instead of the solution being oh Zola now has control over Ultron and kills him, but you
Hmm.
know that he's gonna have his own selfish goals. Now you have Killmonger who selfishly wants the world to be everything he wants,
Right.
and then you have them fighting over the stones, and then Doctor Strange is like, no, no
He
more
just like
stones.
yes, and just puts them into like their own little universe.
Exactly.
It's just Killmonger. He annoys me so much. It's just like, why? What were you gonna do with the stones? Like, tell me what you were gonna do. Because, like, were you gonna go to other universes? You can't do that. You're not Ultron. Like, this planet that you're on right now is already destroyed, and you have to stay in this universe for those stones to work. So, what were you gonna
Yeah,
do?
what was your
Like,
plan?
what
And
was the
then
plan?
the other thing, now that I realize, I wondered this as soon as it was happening. So he gets like a vibranium suit of armor to even, wear the stones. I'm like,
Mhm.
what would have happened if because we kind of get a glimpse of it when he tries to use them, and then Strange puts him and Zola in the mini pocket universe.
Yeah.
It's like, would that have killed him? Because Iron Man was wearing a nanotech suit of armor. Obviously, it wasn't made of vibranium when he snaps, and that basically wipes him out. Hulk barely survives
Mm.
snapping with the nanotech gauntlet, and Thanos also like gets scarred after
Yeah.
doing it twice. So, and that's all of the stones at once.
Mhm.
And Killmonger was probably gonna do that because what they all did was like universe level snaps, I guess, because they're like,
Mhm.
we're gonna bring back everyone, and then
Right.
Iron Man's like, I'm gonna wipe out Thanos' army.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if vibranium would have protected him better, because it is like the strongest metal on
Hmm.
Earth, but like that's on Earth, so it's like, but the Infinity Stones are
Yeah.
universal, so it's, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, because like I said, we don't get to see him use all of them, and
Hmm.
he immediately gets wrecked by Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which one thing that I also thought was cool is that even though this is the Supreme Strange, where he's like absorbed all these evil people, he can't really 100% control it. He
Yeah.
keeps getting
Yeah.
those like body glitches where you'll see like one of the creatures come out of him,
Hmm.
and then he brings out like those dragon heads or whatever at one point. That was cool
Oh
when they're
yeah, yeah,
fighting
yeah.
Ultron.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in general, I was most impressed by Strange. I was like, because I said from the beginning, I'm like the strongest character that they could bring in to beat this version of Ultron is Doctor Strange Supreme.
I know. Okay, yeah, because when he brought in the zombies and
Oh
I
my,
saw Wanda, I was like,
yes,
okay, this is about to be over. Like, we're about to get a great battle scene. And then he defeated Wanda, and I was like, oh, okay, now
yeah,
it's over. Like,
yeah,
before then, I was like, okay, well, maybe he's weak. But once he defeated Wanda, I was like, all right, he's powerful. You know? Oh, that was crazy. But I really liked how they brought that in from the other episodes and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was funny because when he dropped all the zombies, he's like, that's not why they're here. And then you see Wanda. I was honestly surprised. I was like, is Spider-Man gonna show up? Is it gonna be Spider-Man with the Doctor
Oh,
Strange
yeah,
cape?
yeah,
Then it's like obviously I wasn't expecting that like to
yeah.
actually happen. I was just like that would have been cool.
Mhm.
Or if you see zombie giant wasp, that would have been that
Oh
would have been interesting.
yeah, that would have been
Yeah,
cool.
but whatever. That's that seeing Wanda, I was like that completely surprised me. I was like,
Right, yeah.
who is he gonna bring in? And then you see the red glow, and I'm like, oh,
Wanda and
okay.
he, yeah. I guess that answered the questions. I just love how like the animators kind of like read my mind, because I was like, in the last episode I was talking with Summer about how he defeated um Captain Marvel, and I was like, okay, it's Captain Marvel, but like if it was Wanda, it would have been a different story. But
Yeah, yeah. I guess you could argue this Wanda's out of control, so
yeah, I guess that's true.
she's
That's
not
true.
as strong, but still,
Yeah.
it's like defeated.
Right, so easily. So
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
And that was the other thing. Didn't Doctor Strange like literally swallow one of his attacks? Like at one point, he like does like this attack, and they're all
Yeah.
like, "Ugh," and then
Mhm.
Doctor Strange goes, "Oh," and he just
Yeah, it
eats
was
it.
that kind of confused me,
You mean
because
it did
it
me
was
as
the
well.
soul stone that
That's
he
what I thought,
swallowed,
right?
right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you see it on the ground. I was like,
Right.
huh?
I gotta watch that part again, because it was really confusing. I was like, didn't he swallow the soul stone?
And then you just see it on
And
the
then we
ground.
see it on the ground, and then it's just like, wait, what? So I gotta analyze that again.
Yeah, and then we gotta mention the fact that I like that this version of T'Challa is like a master thief.
Mhm.
Like he has all the traits like of being a master pickpocket because he steals the soul stone and you're not even thinking about it when he
Yeah.
does it. It's like, what are you gonna do with your blaster against this guy?
I
And
know, yeah.
then he's like, I got it. And it's like, okay, that is so sick.
Because
Like,
I was thinking that. I was thinking in the group, I was like, dude, you're actually the weakest in this group. Like, I'm sorry to say, T'Challa, you're like, in our universe, you're one of the strongest, but I'm like, in this group, you're the weakest. So what are you bringing to the table? Because that little blaster thing isn't going to do anything.
no,
And so
no.
I love how they thought of that, and we're like, okay, well, he can be like the thief and the guy that takes the
He's so
stone.
cool. Like
Yeah.
that's why I really liked I think they should do more of that. Well, we've already said that the second episode with T'Challa is one of the best ones.
Mhm.
But I really like that they took the genre that they were going for with that and went 100% in, like make it a heist.
Mhm.
That was so cool because I remember when the Russo brothers said that Infinity War was going to be a heist type movie,
Mhm.
but with Thanos, and I'm like, is it really? I mean,
Is it
sorta,
really?
kinda. It's more of like a giant epic,
Yeah.
like
It's not
everyone,
really a heist.
yeah, heist, like, but yeah, it'd be really cool to see more of that in
Mhm.
general, like cross genre stuff with the MCU, which they've done recently a lot of with the Disney Plus shows. So with What
Mhm.
If, I think they can do it even more. Which the rumor is that next season they're gonna do a Black Widow episode and a Shang-Chi episode, and I'm like, oh, that'd be
Oh,
so cool.
interesting. Like, what? I can't even imagine that. Where
Yeah,
would that
like
even go? Like,
yeah,
she's
like
not even there.
yeah,
She's
like
dead.
yeah, like a Black Widow like episode, I think based on the movie, right? Since it just came out. That's my assumption. They could totally do like a what if something else happened, or like I don't know, but
Oh, interesting.
yeah, there's rumors about that. Shang-Chi, there's like a million things you can do with him. Like
Yeah.
what if Wenwu was a good guy with the 10 rings?
Yeah.
What if Shang-Chi
What if
uh
Wenwu wasn't sexist and
oh
like
my god, yeah.
brought up his daughter
what
too?
if the daughter was the equivalent of Shang-Chi? Like what if she's the one who comes and saves the day instead?
Right. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things they could do. Yeah, so that's one thing that I wanted to mention on this episode is I was surprised they didn't tease the second season like almost at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
they made it look like this was a very contained season. Obviously, we're missing the episode with Tony Stark and Gamora. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the ones that's like okay, that should have been here and it wasn't. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
But with next season, um, I don't know. I don't know where it could go because, like I said, they don't really leave much up to the imagination except
Yeah.
look,
I
here's
think
the Hydra
that
Stomper.
I think that they can have this show go on forever,
Oh, yeah,
honestly,
of
because it's like,
course.
what if you can do literally anything,
Hmm.
and that would be really cool. And so I was telling you over text, like how, like super fans like us, we love stuff like this. So we're gonna obviously watch it and be there on day one, but they have to cater to casual fans. So they are like trying to see if it works out and
Hmm.
if they'll greenlight a season 2. And so
Yeah,
that's why it
exactly.
seems so self-contained. Um, but you were saying like it's done well and stuff like that.
Yeah, so well obviously some people weren't like the biggest fans of the show,
Mhm.
but I remember when this was like just about to air and well air go online
Right.
and I can't remember when they announced the second season, but they did announce it before it came to Disney Plus. Like straight off the bat, they were like, "Oh, we're already working on the second season." So that makes me
Oh,
think
all right.
that at some point halfway through production or whatever post production, they were like, "We can do another one," because
Mhm.
they saw like the hype for it or something. And that seems to be the trend right now with Marvel is they underestimate like or at least Disney underestimates how successful the brand is because
Mhm.
as soon as a new project comes out, it does crazy good. Like
Yeah.
WandaVision, all the way up to Loki, the numbers on each show increased and
Right.
on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. And even with WandaVision, like I was saying, so they just announced this morning. This isn't an official Disney thing.
Mhm.
This is like one of those the trades announces it before Disney ever can.
Yeah.
So Variety announced that they had the exclusive on a Catherine Hahn led WandaVision spinoff about Agatha, and
I'm
it's like
excited for that.
I know I was like, what?
But like, okay, I need to know everything. Like, I need to know what this means.
I
Like, why
know.
is it a spinoff? What isn't she the like? Didn't Wanda change her to a regular person
I know,
now?
right?
Is Elizabeth Olsen gonna be in the show? Is it like?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, but here's the thing. It makes me think she was so successful that they're doing a story about a villain. I'm like, why don't we do this for like more villains? Like
Yes.
the only one that I'm kind of like on the fence about is Tony Leung returning as Wenwu because I would love to see him do more.
Why?
But I feel like him as an actor, I don't know if he'd want to do it, so I hope they don't like force him to do
That's
it. You know
true.
what I mean? But
But he died. What
yeah,
are we
but
gonna do with him?
like a prequel.
Oh,
Because people loved his like character so much that they want to see more of like the Mandarin
Mhm.
like version, I guess. The one that like people call the Mandarin even though he thinks the name is stupid.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
agree. I think I'm glad they addressed that in the movie.
Yeah.
But I would love to see more of him in general. But like I said, if he doesn't want to, I like totally respect it. Because he's like one of those like high level actors who I was
Right.
surprised is in the MCU at all. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm like, oh, he would be amazing. But there are so many other great like Zemo. I've been saying since Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yes.
Zemo needs to be the leader of some sort of bad guy group.
But I think he is because I'm pretty sure they're setting up
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's probably gonna be the leader of that. There's no like I feel like, oh my gosh, I need this. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
know,
guess we've
right?
already gotten it, but what's his name? John Walker and
Yes.
and Zemo just having like a bickering thing where like John Walker thinks that he's better, but like it's Zemo. Like
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
even like, I need that. So
My dream team Thunderbolts thing is I want Justin Hammer back in general and getting to
as
see
John
him.
Walker?
Justin Hammer is the adversary in Iron Man 2, the dancing guy on stage, the one who does like the fake Iron Man drones.
I
know
don't
if you
remember.
He's so funny. Like he also shows up in the short film All Hail the King, which explains why um, Trevor is in
Mhm.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
It explains like what he's doing there. And in that short, you see the Justin Hammer again. And the rumor is he's going to be in Armor Wars with Rhodes, because the whole
Mhm.
point of Armor Wars is people are like copying Tony Stark tech, and who better to have as the main antagonist than the dude who tried to do it originally.
Right.
And I would love to see him not as the Iron Man type, but more as like a, I don't know where he'd fit in, because the Thunderbolts, some of them are like copies of other, like John Walker's just like, really bad like Captain America, right?
Right.
But Zemo has more of like he's an awkward like version of Tony Stark. Like he's eccentric, but
Uh-huh.
he's also like he has very dark like ideas of how to protect the world. I'm gonna put a suit of armor around the world type deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really want to see, like you said, him and John Walker would have like the same dynamic as Tony Stark and Captain
Mhm.
America, but
Mhm.
in a different way. But then you have Justin Hammer, who is kind of like evil Tony Stark,
Yeah.
like because they both make suits and stuff. So I don't know. There's just so many things you could do with a
Yeah, for
roster like
real.
that.
I think it would just be great. We do need
Yeah.
more. We do need more villain stories,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Marvel understands that after seeing Killmonger and Thanos
Oh
and
yeah.
Loki, that you need to give villains story because everyone's a hero in their own eyes, right?
That's right.
So you can't just be a villain being like, I want to take over the world, but like, why? Like, you can't just nobody just I want to take over the world. That doesn't make any sense. You got to give them a story and stuff. So I think, especially with Catherine Hahn's character,
Mm-hmm.
we definitely need more explanation instead of just like you're powerful and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I think the TV show is a great idea and they should do more with it. And like Marvel can afford it. Disney, you apparently just want all the money in the world, so just do it.
I know, right?
So
My guess is they're gonna do. This is just me guessing, because obviously we don't know what the series is gonna be about, and then that's not even including the fact that they already have a spin-off in the works based on a series that hasn't even come out yet, which we talked about the last time I was on the podcast, which is the Echo series. Is I'm gonna assume, based on the popularity of, literally, I was thinking about this song this morning, Agatha All Along,
yeah.
because of how popular that was and how popular Catherine Hahn was as like nosy neighbor. Agatha, I feel like that's what they're gonna want to do, like some sort of, either like you said, a prequel, how she got so strong, and like how she's lived. Like they can show various time periods, kind of like what they're gonna do in the Eternals, I believe, where in Eternals we're gonna see Earth over time with the Eternals there.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna do the same thing
With Agatha.
yeah, with Agatha. Or they could have like a bunch of like very short, funny, like nosy neighbor type scenarios, which that honestly makes sense for Disney, because out of all the Marvel properties so far, I think the one that feels the most like something Disney specifically would make was WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it just fits the bill. I mean, it has everything. It has songs in it. It has, I mean, it's technically a sitcom, sort of, and it has family type values in it, sort of. Like
Like, in a
it's
way.
like the
Like, in a
anti
way.
Disney thing.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to see more of. In general, I don't care what it is what I guess I'm trying to say.
Because I mean, we're gonna watch it either
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
Like,
But Agatha
yeah.
was one of the standout characters
For sure.
in WandaVision. So
I hope with that, and I also hope maybe Evan Peters could show up
oh man,
as whatever her boyfriend thing was. Start with the R. Ralph, yeah. So maybe he can show up, but like because I'm still mad. Like I'm still mad that they wasted that character. Like, what are you doing with Evan Peters? Why bring him in? Just throw the whole. Don't even bring him in. I'm like honestly so mad about it because you gave people so much hope just for them to
such a troll.
Just for it to be, what was the guy's name?
Ralph
Boner.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
For what?
I know, and people are worried that they're gonna do that
gosh.
again. That was why I was so taken aback by Kang the Conqueror actually showing up in Loki. Like, I remember yelling whenever he showed up. I was like, oh my